Hello, this is Questionable Coding with Vladimir, and we're discussing how to nail an interview. And today's topic will be confidence, or the lack of confidence before the interview. This feeling of anxiety that almost everyone has. So it's something very natural for us. It comes from an early age when you have some danger and you want to run or you want to fight, and your body prepares you for that. So you feel very stressed, and you are just wasting your energy. And we'll try to understand what tips can help solving that or mitigating its impact on our performance. My first tip will be pretty obvious. Prepare, and prepare a lot. If a person is prepared, he or she will be very confident, much more confident than a person who didn't prepare well, who has a lot of blanks, who doubts his own or her own knowledge. And of course, it's easy to say, but it will take years for you to master any kind of interview, especially algorithmic interview. You'll go through hundreds of tasks, hundreds of approaches, but over time you'll be searching for a challenge. It will be very hard to surprise you with some hard unknown task, because you've seen it all, you saw like most of them, and you are very confident in your skills at least. It won't solve your problem completely. So it doesn't mean that you'll be super calm and won't expect any problems from the interview, but still, it will give a lot of benefits regarding your mental state. My second tip, which is very important, and a lot of people are not doing that, is replicate your environment while preparing, an environment that you have during your interview. So, for example, you are expecting to have an on-site interview, and you will be drawing on the board. Then obtain a board or get the board in your university, at your work or somewhere, and practice on the board. If you have one online interview, then practice using Prompt or any other resource that provides a similar experience. If you have an interview at 9 a.m., try a few days at least, try and practice your problem-solving skills at 9 a.m. and not in the evening, when you have a different experience, because you have the entire day passed and you're a bit tired, and in the morning, vice versa, you are sleepy and you're not focused yet. Maybe it works differently for different people, but one thing remains the same. If you practice in the environment you have on the interview, you'll be less distracted. It will be much more natural for you to perform in an environment that you already know. My next tip is to lower the stakes. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes we are very concentrated on one company. Let's say we love Facebook, it's our dream company, we like the salary, the name, the status, and we are ignoring every other option around. And it's usually not a good idea. If you can apply it to multiple companies, you better do that, because it will give you a number of benefits. First of all, it will help you with your confidence on the interviews, because there will be a series of interviews in each company, and you won't pay that much attention to one company. I mean, you still appreciate that, but you won't be scared that it will reject you, because you have plan B, maybe plan C, maybe plan D, and that's good. That's good for your confidence. Also, the interview or any interview in one company will warm you up before interviews in another. So maybe you fail one or two first interviews, but then you feel it and you'll perform better. And also, after you succeeded in your interviews, hopefully you have a good leverage in your negotiations, because if you have competing offers, you can ask for better salary, better options, and other benefits. But it's a completely different topic. I think we'll have another videos for that. But still, if you have time, if you feel that you can handle several interview processes in parallel, then do that. My next tip is much easier, and it's about the time when you have like 30 minutes before the interview and you feel super nervous. You can't even prepare, because you already spent months and you can't concentrate. You think you need to save a little bit more energy before you start. And in this case, I recommend to switch to something very, very casual, very familiar to you.
For different people, it can be different things. Maybe you should clean your table. For me, I wash the dishes. So I just go, usually I have some dirty dishes in my sink, and I try to concentrate on that. And when I switch my attention from this stress to the dishes, I calm down. And don't be afraid to forget something. It's usually a false feeling that if you switch your attention, then you'll suddenly forget your data structures or your JavaScript methods or something like that. Now, it usually helps, and you will be much more calm before you start. You'll save some energy, and then you'll nail the task that will be given. My next tip is quite questionable, and it's for those people who constantly are afraid to forget something. For example, some detail in the algorithm, some method in their language, some way to implement a data structure. And it's quite common, and I recommend to create a cheat sheet. So just a collection of those methods with small descriptions that you can understand. And by doing that, you solve your main problem, this lack of confidence. In the interview, you most likely won't need any cheat sheet because you'll be really focused and you remember everything that you learned before, so you won't really need it. But at the same time, while creating cheat sheet, you'll concentrate on the main points and you will learn them better. So it has multiple values except just providing you an escape plan in case everything goes wrong. So just have it with you, maybe put it in front of you, but most likely you won't address it. Of course, I don't recommend you to cheat in a hard way on the interview. It will be obvious for the interviewer, but still this thing, you can perceive it as a way of learning thing and a way of gaining some confidence. I think my last tip is the hardest one to explain, but I'll try. So there are sometimes situations when you experience a lot of uncomfortable feelings like doubt and anxiety, fears, and in those cases I try to take a step back and to observe myself from the side. And I try to talk with myself and explain that those stressful moments are life-defining moments. And even though they are not comfortable to be in, it's something that I will remember. It's something that builds my life, my experience, my history, and I need to appreciate that. Imagine a life where you don't experience anything like that. I think it will be dull, so I think it wasn't the life worth living. And I highly recommend to appreciate those moments, even though it can be a moment of failure, it can be a moment of great stress, but that will remain in your memory and it will build your moments that you'll be talking about, you'll remember that you'll be proud of, hopefully. So it's not only stress that you need to avoid, but something that you decided to take to improve. And I think that's it. If you have your own ways of calming down, I'll be glad to listen to them because I'm still working on my confidence and it's a long journey. And I think it's great to share your experience because we naturally find a way to cope with such problems for ourselves because they disturb a lot. So let's share our approaches and stay tuned. Please subscribe if you didn't, and hope to see you next time.